I'm going to play the second song that this Red Rider wrote for me. And Amber, I know you're pathetic. You had to write your own song and it sucks. This one was written to me by somebody I don't even know.
Down in the dust where the coyotes roam, Texas Terry calls a wilder home. Boots on the ground and a heart made of roses. She's a lone star queen on a dusty throne. She's got a smile like a rattlesnake bite, lasso a charm in the pale moonlight. Cards in her hand and she don't have a care. She's the ace of hearts with a devil's flair. Oh, Texas Terry rides the wind so free. From Amarillo down to Galveston Sea. A rebel soul with a fire in her stride.
Good morning, Dana.
A woman you can't deny.
Waiting for Toby to call. Red Rider wrote me this beautiful song. And I heard through my informants that Amber's trying to write a song. Amber, that ain't the point. You gotta have a secret admirer do it, like I did.
Whiskey and words burn brighter than stars. She's a legend told where the shadows fall, but you'll never catch her behind no strip mall with a flick of her hat and a special grin. You'll lose your heart, but you'll never win. The dust picks up as she rides away. Texas Terry's a storm you can't play. Oh, Texas Terry rides the wind so free. From Amarillo down to Galveston Sea. A rebel soul with a fire in her stride. Texas Terry is a woman you can't deny.
Okay. I'm just rubbing this in Scamber Amber's face. One of my people told me that since I had a song written for me that she wrote her own fucking song and it's shitty. Anyway, I want to say a few words. I'm waiting for Toby to call and I come on early because that's just the way I am. I'm an early type person. I want to shake my pills for the hillbillies and the rednecks, but especially to bring attention to Miss Cunt Smells Wrong. You're still a cunt. I'm still working on your identification, and when I get it, you better be fucking beautiful for calling me a Popeye. A Popeye. Hi, Skeeter Rotten Teeth. I see you got yourself untied from the tree, sweetie. Yes, I did. You untied me, didn't you, baby? You untied me. I'm just talking about Amber's song. I heard that Amber wrote her own song because she has no people that like her, that would write her one. Like Red Rider, BB wrote me a song. And I'm taking these pills for Miss Cunt Smells Wrong, who is not a redneck or a hillbilly, because any redneck or hillbilly would not sit in a goddamn chat of a sack whore downgrading rednecks and hillbillies. And Eric Foss did the same fucking thing. So let me tell you something, Eric Foss. I'd rather have a redneck or a hillbilly with me any day of the week than one of you dope-pushing city people. How about that? That's my answer to you. And I was kind of liking you until you got off on your little, your kitty smells right. My kitty does smell right. Miss Cunt Smells Wrong smells like what she is, a decaying, worthless piece of shit. And Minnie, you dyke. I know you're BB from Virginia, and I don't care because you're both pieces of shit. I can figure out fake people better than anybody on here. I'm waiting for Toby to call. Am I real early? I bet I am. Hell yeah. He probably won't be calling until 10 after 11, so I better talk about Amber, scamber. Don't worry about me getting a casket, Amber. You're such a Christian. Ain't that a Christian thing to say? To say you want me to get a laced up shot? Well, for one thing, I don't do shots. I don't shoot dope, bitch. I drink it. I drink it in my unsweet tea. So the chances of me getting a shot that's laced up are slim to none. You, on the other hand, I got a list of your diseases. And I can believe every one of them because you're a goddamn pathological liar. And all these diseases are head wounds. Let me see. Let me see all the diseases that Scamber has. She's trying to get disability people. I've got them right here, a list of her diseases. I, on the other hand, am perfectly healthy, but she thinks I'm going to die before her. Ain't going to happen, bitch. Ain't going to happen. I'm going to be talking to Ski Mask about you way after. Where is that list of diseases? Okay. If I can find them. I always save everything. Where'd it go? I don't know where it is. Maybe I don't have them. But anyway, it was that anxiety. You're really going to have anxiety when me and Ski Mask get talking about it. Anxiety, panic disorder, fibromyalgia. That's a made-up fucking disease. So she's got panic. She can't leave her house. She's got agoraphobia. That's good. You don't need to leave your house. I can't find that list of fucking disease. Oh, here it is. Wait. Hey, poodle kicker. It's so funny seeing you and antifreeze aren't friends. You two dog killers aren't friends with each other. That's sweet. And all you people that think Amber is good now, and that goes for you too, John fucking Yates, you're all going to get what you got coming. Okay, here it is. Here's your medical records, Scamber. Agoraphobia with panic disorder, generalized anxiety disorder, MAG depressed, DO, reoccurrent mod, fibroid. Oh, you're a mess, ain't you, girl? And you got the fucking nerve to tell me to look for a casket, you cunt? Hi, Cole. I don't need no damn casket. I'm an atheist anyway. We don't believe in that shit. We just get... I'm going to have Toby come on. And I thought about having him talk about making the moonshine and all that shit. But I think it would be more interesting, the shit show, whoever you are, welcome to the chat. I think it would be more interesting to have him talk about, because he's doing life, he's not getting out, to talk about how they scam women and men out of money. It is unbelievable the amount of money these prisoners get. Some of them. Not all of them. There's some of them that are pathetic. Don't get nothing. There's some that got game. I tried to listen to old Scamber, but I got one clip of her saying something about me being the most evil person. Are you crazy? I've never done half the damn shit you've done. You remember, Amber, when you were trying to get Clint jammed up and you called the CPS on Jen? You remember that, cunt? You've done it to several people, but I know this for a fact because I've seen it with my own eyes. You called CPS and you tried to say that Clint was fucking with them girls and you sent a picture around with his thumb in it. I'm the one that Jen calls me shit stain. Okay, shit stain, welcome, welcome. I have a freedom of speech chat. I'm going to have a prisoner be calling me here in a minute. I'm going to do a prison interview with a lifer. He got arrested when he was 20 for killing. And he's been in the pen ever since, all over the United States. And he's 50-something now. 50, I think. Anyway, he knows everything, every question you want to know about every... He's been in a bunch of them. Oh, that might be him right now. Nope, it ain't. Not him. But he'll be calling. He goes on break at 11. Unless they get locked down, he'll be calling. If he's locked down, I'm going to get off here because I don't really have nothing to talk about. But anyway, I was going to have him talk about making moonshine and stuff, but I'll let you guys ask. He'll be calling me any minute if he's not on lockdown. Let me see if he is or not. Let me see if he's green or not. Oh, what in the world is this doing home? He's not green, but that don't mean nothing. They're not locked down though, because there's a Jose Castro. He's green. Bye-bye, Jose. You've been replaced by Kevin and Toby and Matthew and John. I don't think there's any ladies in here, shit show. Maybe Tammy and Dana. But me and Sharon, sure, and maybe, oh, here he is right here.
Hello, you have a prepaid call from
Toby.
an adult in custody at Two Rivers Correctional Institution. Your account balance is $31.44. To hear the charges for this call, press 2. To accept this call, press 5. To refuse, this call will be recorded and subject to monitoring at any time. Thank you for using IC Solutions. You may begin speaking now.
Hey,
What's up?
we're live, waiting for the interview with Toby.
I just called you and it said that the call was refused. Did you get a call just like 1 minute ago?
No, I got one that wasn't. It might have been. Now, Oregon doesn't have 541 for a prefix, does it?
Yeah.
Well, then it might have been you, but I didn't recognize it because it didn't come up the correction department.
Oh my God, I just called you. And
Sorry.
I said, all right, we're good. I was in the cell panicking, hitting my button, asking the seal, like, dude, are you going to let us out or what? And he's like, oh, yeah, shit, I forgot. I wouldn't want you to do your job, dude. So we're good.
Guess who's in the chat? Sharon's schizophrenic boyfriend. Kay, I'm here. Old shit stains in here. Anyway, this is Toby. He's doing life. So if you have any questions at all, otherwise I'm going to let him talk about an answer to the little podcasters that I listen to, the little prison podcaster that he has a problem with. I'm going to let him address that if you don't have any questions. If you have questions, I'll read them. Who's the sex pot on the phone is one question, Toby.
Who's the what?
They're talking to you. Who's the sex pot on the phone?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what that means.
You know what it means. Quit being a smart aleck. Okay. Talk about those games you guys play in there.
Well,
With the women and the guys that call.
I wanted to address that dude that was making them podcasts.
Okay.
Listen Up, Prison Wives, that dude that does that thing. And I was in my cell, and I previously talked to you about this, and I was like, all right, so this guy is saying that while he was incarcerated, he was just hanging out by the phones and peering over other people's shoulders, watching them write letters and messages and send out their communications with their people. And my question was, what was he doing? Is that how he did his time? And is that the savior for the women right there? Some dude that was going around spying on other men, talking to other women because he couldn't get his own woman? Or did he have multiple women? And if he didn't have any women, why not? So what, he was just sitting in there all alone, just building up resentment and jealousy and hate, and he dedicated the rest of his life to making podcasts? What kind of life is he living out there? What kind of life was he doing inside? Like, how was he becoming a better person? And what efforts was he putting in to save on the women that was supposed to be that he was witnessing getting played? Like, what was he doing? How come he wasn't doing anything to stop it? You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying. I've been down this road. I know some of the shit that goes on. He's not lying about everything. You know that.
He's not completely lying, but the first time I was incarcerated,
I told my mom, I was like, man, I need a girl, I need a woman in my life. I was about 20, 21. So she hooked me up. She knew I want like a bartender. And I started corresponding with her through letters. Then we started visiting with each other. But I kept on getting in trouble. I was young and wild, so I kept getting in trouble. So after a few visits, she was like, man, you get back in touch with me when you got your focus right, when you got your priorities right, you get at me. And I said, all right, but I stayed in trouble the rest of the time, but eventually I got out of prison, and when I got out...
Okay, hang on, you got a question. I just saw my chat. Kay wants to know, what are you doing life for?
I caught a murder and 2 attempted murders in 1997 in Des Moines, Iowa.
There you go, Kay. He's in there for murder and attempted murder.
And, but I just was saying, all right, so everybody says that dudes in the joint ghost the women when they get out. I got out of prison, and I tracked her down through a friend of a friend, and I went to her workplace at the Best Western Hotel, and I showed up, and I was like, what's up? You thought you could get away from me or what? She's like, I get off at midnight, come back, and we'll go out on a date right there. So people are saying that we ghost. Every single dude inside a prison ghosts. So there's 1 million dudes inside the system ghosting 2-3 million women.
Yes, there is. I'll verify it.
Every single dude in prison, not one man has a woman that he cares about. There's not one genuine, not one authentic relationship.
Listen, it got somebody else in here. It's Jose and Toby's $1,200 love story.
I don't know what that means.
You know who it is. You told me you were talking to a Jose. Oh, Wade's in here too. How you doing, Wade?
Basically, I feel like anybody can make a podcast and say anything about where they just was at. When they control the narrative and they can say whatever they want. He makes it sound like there's not one qualified good dude inside that appreciates friendships from people on the streets. I've lived off of pen pal sites my whole life. All my communications, all my friendships, they was formed through Ride a Prisoner and that pen pal buzz where I met you. Like, for someone to try to take that away, they would basically be erasing my entire life. I would just be some dude in here sweeping the floor all day, making $30 a month.
Oh, tell him about making that moonshine.
All right, so I'm an Iowa prisoner, and they sent me out the first time I went to a prison in Coleman. It was in Ocala, Florida, and I was in the joint in Iowa, so we didn't really do a whole hell of a lot of, extra scientific, extra creative shit. So when I got there, my eyes was open to a whole new atmosphere. My cellie, he was a moonshiner, and I took the iron out of the CO's office, and he dismantled the iron so that he used that metal part to cook, and then he stripped the wires from that cord, and he ran the wires from the cord into that metal and connected the wires to the light switch, and he would just basically run it through we had a hose that we took off of a vacuum, and we'd run that into a catch bag, and we was doing like 6 gallons every single week. We'd cook off 6 gallons and make 6 pints, and we would sell for $50 a pint, but I ended up becoming such an alcoholic. We completely quit selling all that stuff, but there was a lot of games behind it because you got to hide that stuff. And back then, he was taking apart a shower handle. He made a screwdriver, and he'd take apart he took the handle off and the plate off, and he'd put siphon 6 gallons back into a bag that was tied around a pipe, and then he'd let it cook for a week, and then we'd have to siphon that shit back off, like you siphon gas out of a tank or whatever. That's how we...
So what'd you put in it? What kind of stuff did you use to make it?
Sugar and tomato paste. These black dudes had everything. It was in Florida, so we would buy, it was 5 pounds. It's $5 for a pound of sugar, and it's like $10 for a can of paste, but they would deliver it straight to us. So we'd put like 2 pounds of sugar on every gallon, and we'd make 6 gallons. So, you spend about $75 to $100 for the bags and the paste and the sugar and all that, but you making your money back easily just by selling 2, and then at the bottom of it, it's washed. I'm telling you, that stuff was 110, 120 proof. Our entire cell would smell like alcohol. My eyes would be like bleeding, but we would rip these sheet lines and get them wet, and we'd cover the doors, the angles, the gaps in the sides of the door and the food slot and everything, the bottom of the door. We'd pump out the toilet, and we'd cover the blow vent, and leave the suction vent, because there's 2 vents in every cell, so we'd cover that so it could keep the smell inside of our cell. And then after that, we'd have to wash the walls and everything, because that entire cell would smell like a liquor, just straight liquor, because it's cooking for hours. It takes like 45, 60 minutes before it starts dripping into that bag, and to change the temperature. It is kind of an older penitentiary, and we still had them cold water faucets, so we could just leave that cold water dripping onto that catch bag, and then to change the temperatures, them spirits would turn right into water. I would just sit there and watch that shit.
That don't sound like it tastes very good, tomato paste. I thought you'd be using fruit.
Well, that fruit stinks, and plus it was hella on it. In the feds, they had a lot of problems. They didn't sell no sugar items on canteen or nothing because of all the violence and shit over alcohol-related shit. They took soda off of there while I was there, but while they were selling soda, we used to buy cases of soda, and I'd empty the cans into a cup, and I'd go to the microwave, and I'd cook it for 18 minutes so it would shrink the amount of liquid inside of them. But maintain the sugar, there'd be like 24 grams of sugar, and we didn't want to drink all of that liquid, so we'd turn a case of soda into like a 12-pack worth of liquid, but maintain all the sugar for the case. You just was learning, so there's no jobs or programs or any type of positive lifestyle in the USP's, United States Penitentiary. So everything is just, you go out to the yard, and there's just, these dudes have stacks, thousands and thousands of dollars of stamps, and they're just gambling all day long. And they're just drinking. I used to walk over there and sell them like food we was stealing out of their kitchen, making up burritos, selling them for $1 a pop, or making little ices, because it's Florida and it's hot. We just walk around hustling all day.
Okay, what was the worst prison you've been in of all of them?
The worst one?
Yeah.
Well, worse is defined in different ways, but the most violent active one was that one in Florida, because there was so many different like black gangs and shit. They was always drinking and gambling, and they was always out machoing each other. So there was a lot of violence with that. They was whooping on COs a lot, but when I got in trouble, we worked a couple of COs, and I ended up doing about 40 months in the shoe. They bounced me around, took all my property, none of my mail caught me, none of that stuff. I had to recreate, and refine new pen pals. The system was doing the most to deprive me of all my mail and all my communications. People thought I was ghosting them and all that, but the mail was never catching me. They was moving me. I was going to Mississippi, I'd be in Atlanta, back in northern Florida, back down to a different prison in Ocala, and I was shooting out letters, but the responses was never catching me. So it seemed as like one-sided. So sometimes shit like that happens too. Remember, I'm an Iowa prisoner, and I've been in like 15, 20 different prisons because I used to get in a lot of trouble.
Amzi's in here.
Hey, and but how they was doing stuff in Lewisburg, the guards, they was like doing all that divide and conquer stuff all the time. When I got there, they knew me and my cellie had whooped some COs, and my cellie had used padlocks on them. So the very next day I was there, they came into my cell and shook me down. I had all brand new everything for my new arrival. They came and brought me and my cellie. We was locked in these secured showers. They came and brought us these smocks. they brought us these like suicide gowns, and I was like, what the fuck is that for? And they's like, we got a new policy. Anytime you destroy government property, you got to wear these for a week. And I was like, man, all my stuff is crispy, clean, fresh. I just got here yesterday, and the guard ripped one of my sheets up right in in front of me, and he's like, you guys like whooping on COs. You think you're tough? Who's tough now? How tough are you now? And all I could do is just cuss him out and threaten him. My cellie went on a hunger strike, and they moved him to Florence, Colorado, like 2 days later on an emergency transfer. And eventually the guards gave me back my stuff. But they was doing stuff like that all the time. They'd be escorting black dudes out to the red cage.
Dr. J. Hi, Dr. J. That's one of Loretta's people. Got the prisoner on here talking.
They'd be trying to turn the black dudes against the whites, saying that we was racist and this and that. And then when we was going outside, they was dropping N-bombs and saying using a lot of derogatory language. Every single one. We'd all come back and talk about it. And their games was so elementary, though, because when you're in them lockdown environments, the communication, the camaraderie is real, and everybody realizes it's really us against them, because that's how the system wants it. Really, the system is aligned against all of us at all times, you know. So I don't know, man. This is what I can tell you, though. Ever since I came out to Oregon, I never been coddled or treated so good in my life. Like, this shit out here is...
See that, people? A woke joke state even treats their prisoners woke.
They treat us, they baby us stuff. This is the best food I ever have, the highest paying job. You know, I push a dude in a wheelchair like 2 or 3 times a day down the corridor. I get $60 a month for that. You know, I had a call center job, basically hustling for the DOC, selling for make-believe fake companies. I was working for an extended car warranty company, and the name of our business was called the Vehicle Service Department. And I'd be just cold calling people. I didn't even know their names. I'd be just guessing at the make and model of the vehicle they had. They's like, I've never had that car. And then I would have to try to get them to tell me what kind of vehicle they had, how many miles, and get them to talk to the closer on the other line for 40 cents. So
See, I don't think people realize that in the public that the prisons use prisoners for these call centers, for doing laundry, for hotels and hospitals. There's a lot of shit going on that you people know nothing about.
They literally have a thing out here, OCE, called Oregon Correctional Enterprise. These motherfuckers built an enterprise off of prison slave labor, paying pennies. I was in a call center working 160 hours a week, making companies, turning fake companies into millionaires for $100, $110 bonus a month. I'd sit there making 300-400 calls.
Hey, Deadly.
And listen, not only that, I never even got to tell you about how they play us out here in Oregon. If we go to the hole, we get in trouble. They keep our month's paycheck. They keep that for themselves. Then they give us a fine up to $200. So if somebody punches you and you fight them back, they're giving you a $100 fine. They take your check that you worked all month for, and then when you get out, they make you work 30 days for free, which takes 6 months. So think about the poverty and the indigent status that they are putting people on. Everything, like, we make mistakes and we get sent to these institutions, correctional institutions in the Department of Corrections with these correctional officers, but there ain't no correcting being done. Anytime we make a mistake, they give us with a fine, hit us with a fine, and they got private companies in here using us, working us 8 hours a day for pennies. And if you make the slightest mistake, they'll just fire you and keep your check, because we don't have no rights. We don't have no advocacy groups out here in Oregon, because everything is soft. The system is soft, and then therefore you're dealing with a lot of soft inmates who don't know. They don't know that what's happening out here is like illegitimate, and it's demolishing these dudes. It's breeding recidivism. It's a revolving door, and these dudes are so stupid that when they get out, like I said, the dude got an emergency release. He got out on Friday. Wednesday, they told him he'd been incarcerated 4 years. They said, good news, bud, you're getting out on Friday. This was on Wednesday last week. You got anybody that'll pick you up? No. You got anywhere to go? No. Did you save any money? No. They said, well, all we can do is take you to the closest minimum to where you got your case at. We'll give you a bus ticket and $100. Good luck. That's what's happening. These guys are not in here. They're not. They're people, they're friends. Inside here ain't giving them positive guidance. The counselors ain't helping these dudes manage their money. They're not making life-changing decisions. They're not making any choices that improves them day after day. And then you got old boy shooting everybody down. You got the guy doing this.
You're so mad at that podcast guy. He actually is telling the truth. The more they weigh, the more they pay. You know who I heard that from, Toby? You.
That can be true sometimes, but listen, men do this too all the time on the street, so it ain't like a man that might be overweight or nerdy or doesn't have a conversation, but he has a unlimited income or a great income. He uses his money to get women that are so far out of his class all the time. Women prey on dudes out there. People use people every day in America. The DOC uses inmates for cheap labor. They set northern Hispanics and southern Hispanics. They put them together so they can fight. They can give them dudes fines and say, see, look at this. Look at all this gang activity. They use us every single day. Women use men. They call them gold diggers. There's literally songs about women that do that shit. So it ain't like there's no men in the world being taken advantage of by women with great they suck dick really good, or they can fuck really good, or they just look good. Whatever the case may be, women use their beauty. And
we're talking about prisoner scams now, not outside stuff.
But it's everywhere around the world. There's women in women's institutions that have men sending them money, coming to visit them. They're telling them dudes when they get out they're going to move in with them, and then they don't. But sometimes they do. Like, no relationships ever last. Not very many relationships last forever. How many people did you go out with and date when you was in school?
Oh, I'm not a common denominator. I've been married I've went with thousands of men. But my mother and dad were married till death do them part. And my aunts and uncles. I'm a black sheep.
Hey, look,
I'm a real black sheep. Hey, Freeside. You want to ask a lifer anything? Because his phone call's getting ready to say a minute. Hey, Hulk Hogan's in here.
28 years. I've been buried alive for 28 years, you know, and there might be guys that's incarcerated that do use people, but
most of them, as a matter of fact. If you don't use me, you'll be the first I've come in contact with. So far you haven't. 11 months you haven't, but.
So far in 11 months, I've never played no games. I've been very, very.
You're kind of hard to get along with, though.
Prison changed you. You know, all of my quality years was wasted behind the fence, making a system rich. You know, I've been job security. I've been these guards' children's meal, their tuition. I've been sending these guards kids through college. You know, it leaves a lot of bitterness there. Don't think that dudes inside prison don't play games on dudes inside prison. These dudes lie, scam, cheat, betray each other in here all day. It makes it hard for impossible. What is it? Believe none of what you hear and half of what you see. That's like one of the golden rules for men entering the system. Dudes run game on dudes in here. It is for a fact. I'm not trying to sit here and act like I'm naive or sleep. For sure, there's a lifestyle. Obviously, they've got 1 million plus people incarcerated in hundreds of prisons from the West Coast to East Coast. So obviously, there's people that go about getting money, you know, in illegitimate ways. But god dang, like CEOs are doing. They do their own employees the same way. When the profits slow down, they start slashing jobs, ruining careers. And life really ain't fair, you know. You just gotta take advantage of opportunities as they come, and when you find friendship, you just gotta be like fortunate and grateful for it, I guess. I don't know, because like that podcast dude said, nobody ever anywhere likes anybody ever anywhere. It's always about a bag of ramen, a bag of chips and ramen noodles, I guess.
Tell them about selling the women that message you that you don't want to fool with. How much you get for that?
I think other people might do that. When I first started corresponding with you, I was on Pen Pal Buzz, and I was still getting a lot of addresses was being sent to me. People was trying to meet me, and I didn't want to really leave them empty-handed. So I was seeing if anybody might want to reach out and correspond, see if they'd be interested. And I never was trying to sell it or make no money. I was just trying to see if maybe they would be interested in a friend or whatever. And then towards the end, when you was like acting like I was committing a capital offense, so I started just throwing them away. I didn't respond to them.
I gotta say, get money out of you. If you can get money out of them women, do it. I don't blame you. Make money where you can make it. Just don't lie about it.
The DOC surely ain't gonna do it, and I never, listen, all them games, my TV blew up, I got this attorneys, I've never ever told you or anybody else that. I let it be known right off top. I'll never ask you for a TV. I'll never tell you no stupid lies. I'll never play no games. I'll never stand you up on any video visit, virtual call. I'll always respond to everything. I'm extremely grateful for you giving me a spot in your world, you know. I know you could find anybody right there on YouTube at any time. So the fact that you would give me a chance to show you the person that I am today, that's the whole point of going on in pen pal sites is. Not everything is a fucking scam and a lie and deception. There might be a little bit of goodness in each and most people inside of the system, you know. I'm not a creep. I'm not a stalker. I don't do no weird stuff. My crime, I was just boosting. That's it. But I was just in a shitty state of mind, you know, when it escalated. I grew to resent authority because I was previously incarcerated. And when you get mistreated, you end up responding to authority pretty negatively. You know, I killed a manager in a grocery store over a confrontation because it just reminded me of the seal giving me another pointless directive, telling me to quit talking so loud, stop laughing. Why do you have these shoes? Why did you give him the shoes, you know? Out here in this goofy state of Oregon, I was on an honor unit for 4 years straight, and I gave an indigent dude, one of these guys that was the victim of these DOC fines, I gave him a pair of my shoes, mine. I paid for them. I gave him, they write your number on there. I took my number off. I gave it to him. I said, here you go, man. You know, I hate seeing you walk around them state Bob Barkers. These weirdos, COs, they rewound the camera for 9 days to find out where this dude got them shoes from and wrote me a DR. I've been working in that call center for 4 years. I was on an honor unit for 4 years straight. They took all that from me. Kept my check, all that. Like, they're just opportunistic. And when you get treated like that over and over, like, what are we talking about? No violence, no contraband, no nothing, no gang shit, nothing like that. I got a life without, never getting out. I'm in an honor unit, working 8 hours a day for pennies, stacking pennies just to be able to buy a good pair of shoes. And I saw an unfortunate individual and gave him a pair of my shoes. Boom, they fried me, took everything. But as I was saying, not everyone goes the women. I wish there was a way I could prove it, but when I got out of prison, I went to that place's Best Western Hotel restaurant, and I told her, what's up, man? Remember when you used to come see me? What happened? She's like, come back at midnight. So, like, all the hate in the world, what about that? A dude just getting out fresh out of prison. And that woman was beautiful. She was intimidatingly beautiful. I was scared to approach her because I hadn't been around no women, no females that attractive and successful. She had her go a great job, and she still had time for me. So not everybody in prison is ugly and dumb and an untrustworthy piece of garbage, you know. I work out all the time. I read.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to tell you, he's a workout freak, fanatic.
I'll be 50 years old in November. I weigh about 170 pounds. You couldn't pinch an inch of loose skin on me for $1 million. I'm faithful to my diet, to my workouts. I always read, and I treat people the way I want to be treated. Like, I need to be a mentor, but they're afraid that I'll stop the recidivism. They're afraid that I'll change people's minds.
There's a 1 minute person. So.
They're about to wrap up, man. That's my message for today.
Okay.
There is individuals in here trying to get better every day. There's people in here grateful, even with a life sentence. Shit, people on death row and doing life sentences and buried in them shoe programs, they're the most grateful for people. Women that got time, human beings that got time for someone in here, what are we talking about?
Do it. People, reach out to a prisoner. You might change their whole life.
You know how much of a difference you made in my life? Well, what are we talking about? Anytime we have an argument, I just apologize. It don't even got to be my fault.
It's your fault.
It's my fault, period. No matter what. Shit, you giving me time, I appreciate it. No, so, all right.
Thanks.
Wrap up.
They're saying thank you.
All right, everybody. Give incarcerated people a chance.
Yep, give the incarcerated people a chance. That was his message. Because Toby has never been off of a segregation thing until he met me. And he's getting to go to rec for the first time Friday. He said I've changed his life. I don't know. I know he's had a lot of disciplinary actions, and he hasn't had any since he's been talking to me. He's been pushing the wheelchair guy around for a long time. He got a bonus for that. So you can make a difference in a prisoner's life. You really can. Toby's proof of it. Hey, Muggsy. Anyway, I'm going to get off of here. This was Toby's deal. And some of them prisoners, though, can't be trusted, let me tell you. Thank you, Cole. So reach out to a prisoner. Help somebody. But don't go after the ones that got drug charges. Go after the violent crime ones like I have. Because the ones that got arrested for drug charges, in my experience, all they're worried about is the dope. That's all they're worried about. So I started doing the violent crime ones, and they're much smarter, and they're not worried about the dope and where their next hit's coming from. They're actually interesting. And they actually, like I've helped Toby. First time ever he's going to get to go to rec. Ever. So anyway, thanks for coming in, and Skeeter and Wade and Hulk Hogan and all you folks. Oh, wait a minute. Somebody here that didn't get to say nothing because I didn't want to put him on here. Come here, baby. Here is Presley. Here he is. You in a good mood today or a bad mood? Yeah? Never fear, Amber. I've got some special interview for you. Yeah, and don't be calling me the most evil person. You stop. Oh, Heidi, I bet that's making you have an orgasm thinking you could kick this dog to death, isn't it? Gap. Isn't it, Gap, Heidi Black, Gap? Ain't this giving you a little high? Man, I could get my dog and kick it to death. All right, people. Ciao.